Okay, Instagram, live, Sunday Night Rant, Facebook, good evening, how are you? Let's wait for this audience to build up. Hello Amy, how you going? On Insta, Upper Side, West Side, Maria Perry, how you going? Katie Ashton's just joined us on Facebook. Let's just get this audience to build up, and I'll just have a nice scotch to start off the day. Hello Bernard, Desmond, how are you my good friend? It's been a long time. Phoebe, hello Ian Tran, Tina, good to see you. Sandy, Matt Newley, good day. Amir, good to see you. Nick Cooney, good to see you as well. Get this audience building up. We've got a great Sunday night session which is on how to get someone to like you in a very, very short time. In fact, I'm going to tell you how you can achieve that in 1 minute. How to get someone to like you in a minute. George Voulas, my cousin, congratulations on the St. George Dragons. I tipped them. Lisa Novak, good to see you. One of my most favorite people on the planet. And by the way, she's the one that put me onto this water, which is Aqualove. And I've got to tell you, this is bottle number 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th bottle today. So I've got that by my side. Ruben Hickey, how you going? A guy that had a dark past but a bright future. And I love people like that. Wendy, looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. We are locked in for a one-on-one. Hello. Yes, Tina, I got a haircut. Listen, I'll tell you what's going on in my life. Hello, Nicole. I just thought, with everything that's happened with my brother, I thought to myself, I went shopping and I bought myself more clothes, and I went, got a haircut, and I went and got a massage, and I just started trying to do different things, maybe to make me feel a little bit different. Hey, Talia, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at breakfast. Yes, I've got a webinar tomorrow morning at REA offices with NGU. I've also got a coaching session tomorrow morning. I've also got a 3-hour work session with the #1 real estate agent for Ray White, I believe, as a principal, David Walker from Ray White Warunga. I got his office tomorrow. Guys, I've got to tell you, hello Tane, I'm working my ass off. But getting back to this story about me, going off and getting a haircut, getting clothes, new clothes, this and that. I was even thinking about buying a new car, and I want you to listen to this story. About 5 weeks ago, some guy in my street, a pensioner, like about 80 or 90 years of age, reverses out of his driveway. Think about it. Out of his driveway, comes across to the other side of the road and hits my car. And he gets out. My car's stationary. My car is actually stopped, and he gets out and he says, I suppose this is my fault, right? He was an Italian guy, and he carried on and swore a little bit in Italian and what have you. Anyway, of course it was his fault. So I ended up getting a hire car for the last 5 weeks. And what I got was a RAV4, and the car that I had that was getting fixed was a Porsche. Now, here is the most bizarre thing. The longer it took, the less I cared, because I got to tell you, I really enjoyed driving that rent-a-car. It had air conditioning, it had a reverse camera, it had power steering, and it was clean. And then it made me realize that there are very few things in life that are expensive that give me a lot of joy, right? I think I was born to always enjoy stuff that wasn't expensive. So Sunny from Chowdhury saying, call me for a new car. That's the point, Sunny. I don't think I'm going to get a new car. In fact, I have to say to you, the only luxury, I didn't feel better being in a car which is only, a fraction of the value of my car. I didn't enjoy it any better. So then I think to myself, cars are an interesting thing, yes, there's a group of people that love the feeling of being in a nice car. There's also a group of people, now let's be very clear about it, they will buy a car because they want people to look at the car and say, wow, look at what they've got. Because a car certainly improves your attractiveness in certain eyes of people, and obviously the person that buys the car. But I have to say to you, I've had money and I've had no money, and I can tell you, of course, I'd rather have money. Money's not everything, but it is something. Remember that. And the only real luxury that I enjoy is if I'm traveling for more than 3 hours on a plane, being in business class. At the end of the day, I have to say to you, if I'm staying in a 4-star hotel or a 5-star hotel, I've stayed in Mount Athos, at a retreat, at a monastery with 8 other monks, sharing a room that didn't even have cooling or heating. And I slept like a baby. And I have slept in hotel rooms that I've been fortunate to have, where coaching clients have paid, or speakers bureaus or News Corp, which have been, 4-bathroom type apartments. And I have to tell you, I've had insomnia in some of those nights. So I'm going to tell you, money is not going to solve your problems. It's going to help you arrive at your problems in style. By the way, I'm enjoying a glass of scotch here tonight with ice. So a little bit also on social media. I was listening to Elon Musk the other day, and he's decided to actually get off all social media except Twitter. One of the reasons is he's constantly being slagged off, and he does say that it does affect him. Hello, Sanjay from the UK. A big shout out to everyone in the UK. I think the date is the 25th of January that I am coming to the UK, and it is Sanjay in London. Sanj Fest is the name of the event. Looking forward to being there on the 25th of January in London. More info to follow. So guys and girls, social media. Why did Elon Musk take off everything off his mobile phone, including Insta and Facebook? And the reason why is that he was getting unhappy. One of the reasons why he was getting unhappy is that he began to realize something that I've been saying here on the Sunday Night Rant for quite a while, is that social media lives and real lives are two different lives. And people generally, when they post something on Instagram particularly, which is very visual, they will actually post a photo that is better looking than what they are. So the first thing you need to understand is, when you are actually looking at Instagram, you are looking at people better than what they look like. So one of the things that you're always going to leave is, I am more unattractive than that baseline, right? But what you have to understand is that that photo that you're seeing is better looking than what they are. The second thing that people do on social media is that they actually describe and take photos and write comments about a life that is much better than what their life really is. So real lives and social media lives are two different lives. Hence the problem of comparison, because as human beings, we actually create a state and we give ourselves a score on how our life is going based on comparisons. And may I say to you, when you play that game, it is a game that you're going to always lose. Trust me, there will always be someone richer, better looking, funnier, someone that's just got more style, someone that is just got more ticks on the boxes. So you're always going to play a game, you're going to lose there. So actually playing that game, milkshake ducks is what Evan has said from Ray White Double Bay, is a term which I've used before. Hello, Mike Nickel, good to see you as well. We have listeners and viewers on this from New Zealand, UK, South America, South Africa, Italy, Greece, USA, all over the place, gang. So, by the way, press that share button or tag someone, because I'm just about to get into the content to let you know that if there's one skill I'd love my daughters to absolutely nail, is the ability to get liked in a minute. In 1 minute. Hey, sure, you can build a relationship to get liked by someone over a 10-year relationship. And that's what I really teach in the real estate gym. I'm saying, become someone's agent before you need an agent. So when you need an agent, you've got an agent. But there are a lot of times where you are going to meet people in a short instant and you have got 60 seconds to get that person to like you. Why is this skill important? It will help you win more appointments when you're prospecting. It will help you actually It'll help you actually win more business when you're at a presentation. If you're a guy or girl and you are looking to meet a significant other, someone to, spend the rest of your life with, or alternatively, someone to actually spend a short time of your life with, I suggest that you learn this skill. If you want to build a network of people in your community, you should learn that skill. And why is it important? Apart from the commercial benefits of having very good one-on-one skills with getting people to like you, is that you will live longer. You will live longer, because what the research shows is that people that have got good interpersonal skills will actually end up having a happier, healthier life. They don't become secluded. Secluded, of course, is the person that says, I won't open my heart to anyone. I will not love. I will not be vulnerable. And what I'll do is I'll protect myself. Well, hey, here's the deal. If you're like that, just go to a funeral parlor, line up and wait. It's going to happen. So, let me move on. And by the way, why do I say it's got to be a minute? Because people are going to judge you within a minute of meeting you. And they're going to say, do I like this person? Is this person a dickhead? Is she nice? Did I connect? Are they likable? That is what happens, and it happens in 1 minute. You've got a minute to nail it. So, gang, let me go through a couple of things. The first thing I'll say is, please understand the 3 V's. Vocal, verbal, visual. I'll repeat it. Vocal, verbal, visual. In that 1 minute, that first meeting, what actually happens is people are sussing you out, and they use 3 dimensions. Vocal, what you say. Verbal, how you say it. And visual, what is your body language saying as the words come out. So what you want to be doing, guys and girls, is to make sure that you've got your audio matching your video and that there is total synchronicity happening. And synchronicity is the fact that there seems to be consistency in what you're saying, how you're saying it, and your body language. So I have to say that's why I believe you cannot fake it, because even though the words might come out, see, I always say that when someone comes to one of my training sessions on scripts and dialogues, I say, if you're a dickhead, you're just a dickhead that has been trained in scripts and dialogues. That's the only thing that's happened, right? So what I'm saying to you is what people do is they actually forget what you say, but they never forget the feeling you leave them with. And that is done by those 3 things. What I'm talking about is vocal, verbal, visual. You got 1 minute. The second thing I'll say that's going to help you drastically in that 1 minute to get liked is the following. Listen to me very carefully. And that is, did you look at them in their eyes? Did you look at them in their eyes? You see, when you look at someone in their eyes, what you're basically doing there is building this super strong bond. Now, I'd like everyone to understand that there are certain people here and certain real estate agents I train. They are good people, but what actually happens is this. They actually have a problem with the vocal, verbal, visual, and they don't look at people. The next thing here, this is the killer strategy. This is the one that can put cosmetic surgeons out of business. It is called a smile. The smile takes your attractiveness up quite a few points on the scale, right? So, and by the way, get into the habit of being the first to smile, right? And I know it's a difficult scenario sometimes because you're walking past a stranger and you sort of think to yourself, do I smile? Don't I smile? Sometimes you don't smile because if you smile and they don't smile back, there's rejection there. But never forget, don't let other people's behavior affect what you're going to do. So be the first to smile. If I'm walking around the Bay Run, and eyes sort of click in, I try to be the first to smile. Because what actually happens then is that other person smiles back. So far we've talked about verbal, We've talked about vocal, we talked about visual, we talked about the importance of a minute, and we talked about eyes, and we talked about the smile, right? So gang, there's a lot of boxes being ticked here, but I'm going to move on and going to say to you, the next thing is the ability to mirror the other person, the ability to actually move at their pace. So here's an example. You know, you walk in to do a sales presentation to pitch for some business, and there's a guy that's looking at his clock every 30 seconds. You don't sort of sit down and make it look like you're going to be there for an hour, right? Now, people that have got a high EQ can read that play and they can mirror that person. And by the way, if you ever meet that person that I call Donnie Direct is the sort of person is that you meet and says, before you even start pitching for business, I'm just letting you know I've only got 30 minutes. Your response should be, let's nail it in 25. That's what you do with Donnie Direct. You meet people where they're at, okay? So the other thing about mirroring people is that some people do it naturally and some people need to think about it, right? So gang, I want you to understand, do you adjust to be like the person you're speaking to? Why is this really important? I'll tell you why. In a study done by Dr. Robert Cialdini in the book Influence, what he did is he put strangers on the busy roads of New York to ask for instructions from people. And what actually happened is that they noticed that people that were stopped to ask for instructions that looked like the person asking for the instructions was more likely to give that person more time and help them. So the other thing we know in the law of liking, is the closer you look like that person, the higher the likelihood that they're going to like you. That's why you don't wear a Hugo Boss suit and a vest and shiny shoes when you're selling real estate in rural Dubbo, right? What you want to do is actually look like you're them. Now, by the way, I'm not saying sell out and stop being who you are. What I'm saying is that what you need to know, and before I go on, let me before I go on, because sometimes the real problem with liking is that we've got this over-exaggeration and need to be liked by everyone. I hope you realize that I'm not saying to you that change yourself every 10 seconds when you meet people. I'm talking here about the rational scenario that if you are in the business of sales, one of the reasons that people are going to do business with you is they like you. Another reason they're going to do business with you is they trust you. Another reason they're going to do business with you is that they feel that you get their problem. And another reason is that they feel that you listen to them. But liking is not everything, but the absence of liking makes it difficult to happen. But gang, I'm not saying be this person that doesn't know who they are, so what they're doing is they've got this desperation and they become like needy. Please like me, please like me, please like me. Hey, here's the deal. At the end of the day, some people are going to like you and some people are not going to like you. You know what? If you've got a formula for happiness to be that the 8 billion people need to approve of you, you have got a recipe for depression. And I'm going to tell you straight here, right now, never ever put your happiness level in the pocket of another person. And the best way to actually get someone's approval is to not need it in the first place. So gang, let me move on and talk to you about a couple of other things on liking in 1 minute, because this has all been how to get liked in a minute. Definitely ask questions. Definitely be the interested introvert versus the interesting extrovert. Hey Josh, how you going? Definitely be the interested introvert, not the interesting extrovert. People like a person that cares, which brings me to another final point before we leave this rant, and that is another way to get someone to like you in a moment is this. Understand your attitude. Do you have an attitude that is useful or an attitude that is useless? Remember that. When you have an attitude of useful, like example, hey, I miss a flight with Qantas. Do I lose the plot and have an attitude that's useless and blow up Qantas? Or do I have a useful attitude and say to myself, Tom, what's the solution here? What can we do? That will change the way you speak to that person. Gang, and the last two things on liking is this. Give genuine, sincere compliments, not fake ones. If there's something nice about something or someone, don't be scared to open up and give. You know what I think? I think a lot of people on this planet make a decision about people that they're mean before they're mean. I think a lot of people give the benefit of the doubt in the wrong way. I think a useful belief is to have that people are good and people are doing the best they can and people aren't mean. And until you have proof of that, you should actually act in that way. And as Joe Rogan and Elon Musk said in the YouTube clip I was listening to yesterday, is, hey, I'd rather be wrong and optimistic, right, than right and pessimistic, because it is about the path and the journey. Hello, Jimmy Nicolopoulos. Good to see you, mate. By the way, a big shout out to all the Sydney Olympic supporters who Sydney Olympic won the grand final against the Apia Leichhardt Tigers today in Sydney. Big win. That is the team that I was brought up from a young kid. I was a shit soccer player, but it was a club that I followed with my parents. So big win there. Big win to Western Sydney Giants. Big win to Richmond. It is final seasons. It is sport mad. Everyone. The last thing, guys and girls, on liking is ultimately what I have to say is the need to be liked will make you less attractive. Never walk into the room feeling better than other people. Never walk into the room feeling like you're less than other people. Walk into the room being you. Because what I've learned is there's no better you than you. Guys and girls, I look forward to seeing you. Many of you, I'm seeing you this week. Though Susan is telling me she's opening up the doors to the real estate gym on Tuesday. Get on the wait list if you're not a gym member, because if you are, you're going to be entitled to come to our Scripts workshop in Sydney, Melbourne and Auckland that are all happening in September. And let me just give you all a nice script and dialogue before we finish off and leave here today. Here's a nice script and dialogue, guys and girls, for those of you in real estate. When you've got a vendor that's overpriced, I think a really good way to actually get them aligned is this bit of language. Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, at the moment, I've got to tell you, we're not actually in the market, we're on top of the market. And my job, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, is to get you back into the market. And never forget, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, I want to let you know that at the moment, I want to realign the value of your property by 7.5%, because I'd rather be in a position that we reject 5 offers than get no offers. Guys and girls, press that share button. Speak to you next week. Look forward to seeing you gym members over the next 14 days. God bless you.